It's time to break down the latest chapter of JoJo Part 9, the JOJOLands, where today we have Chapter 36, Usagi Fraud and Suspicion Part 4. We also have a new intro animation for Act 2 of this story, made by Vedas, with music by Nico Bellisario, the same duo behind Holy Steel, Go Beyond, and Make It Rain, so I hope you guys liked it. Within this chapter, we continue our struggle against the power of Absurdities, as this enemy stand attacks by bringing one's experience with the absurd to the surface, and like some kind of evil spirit, uses negative emotions as a sort of energy to fuel its power. And to round out this arc, we see the stand ability continue to develop as we try to get a better understanding of its power, and we'll see it attack the Joestars, which brings more of their past struggles to the surface. So let's jump right into things, starting with the cover page, which is definitely one of my favorites so far in this part, featuring fun and expressive poses from our main crew that just look cool but could also be loosely interpreted as representations of the emotions this enemy stand has extracted from within them. Paco was tormented by feelings of abandonment, and he looks like he's about to remove or leave behind his hat. Usagi is the entire focus of this arc, revolving around the love and passion for his family. Jodio is in a defensive pose and presenting a peace sign, and as we'll see within this chapter, he tried to resolve a situation relatively peacefully and had to defend Dragona. And Dragona is expressing separation, or cutting something or someone off, and in a bit we'll see a flashback relating to their first breakup. This cover page is also a very similar composition to Chapter 3's cover, which was just over 3 years ago, and side by side, we can really see the Part 9 characters and art style coming into its own. Dragona and Jodio specifically used to have those bubbly JOJO Lion eyes and just overall softer features, but stand out a lot more now, and everyone has a bit more personality within their design and expressions. And I can't really tell if I noticed this, but Araki might also be trying to draw the characters to look a bit older now, to represent the time skip and the growth so far. Turning the page, we are welcomed into the chapter with a double page spread and see a bunch of people jumping into the crocodile enclosure. Is this the same guy from Chapter 10? Is this supposed to be some sort of Where's Waldo running joke by Araki? So it looks like the stand user wasn't physically pushing people into this pit, rather physical manipulation is a part of its ability. Elsewhere at the zoo, we pick things up where we left off last chapter with the gang discovering the stickers on their shoes, which is a symbol of the stand's activation or tracking, and we come to find out that everyone has been marked by the stand. And Jodio deduces that they must have contracted these stickers by coming in contact with blood. This would be a very similar activation to JoJo Lions Blue Hawaii, and again similar to Blue Hawaii, Paco suggests that everyone jumping into the croc enclosure is because they came in contact with the blood and are somehow being controlled or tricked by the evil spirit into jumping into the pit. The evidence for this is strengthened when Dragona tried to peel off a sticker from their shoe by using smooth operators. Although in a very Joseph Joestar, this isn't the car moment, Dragona had actually been using smooth operators to separate the wire ropes to the elephant enclosure. So if this could happen to Dragona, it's possible the people jumping in the pond were also having their reality altered. And the action of trying to remove the sticker triggers the evil spirit to manifest and attacks Dragona, first possessing Jodio, who whispers into their ear about the memories of their first love, a boyfriend who was a real heartthrob but ended up breaking up because Dragona was stealing money from him. And it looks like the core sentiment of this attack is Dragona's feelings that they can't accomplish any goals because of their past mistakes and wish they could start over, which is what makes them turn around. Interestingly, during this interaction, the evil spirit refers to Dragona as Big Sis. So assuming the stand is extracting feelings and memories from their target's hearts, Dragona sees themselves as a big sister, which shouldn't be much of a surprise. Dragona has gone to great lengths to be seen as more feminine, through clothing, getting implants, with stealing money for facial surgeries, and in a bit when we see the boyfriend, he repeatedly calls Dragona a woman. So the only person who calls Dragona bro or perceives them as a man is Jodio, because having grown up together, he has a much different relationship with Dragona, who also doesn't seem to mind that Jodio still calls her a man and his brother. But seeing that Dragona had a boyfriend, either way you cut it, Dragona is some variety of queer. If you really don't think they're trans, then they're a gay guy, I guess. But gay guys usually don't call their boyfriends a woman. So since Dragona does not correct Jodio or seem to care about preferred pronouns, and is constantly referred to as a man and a woman, I think the point is that their gender doesn't really matter, and for different characters, Dragona is seen as different genders, which breaks down expectations and stereotypes when not so easily labeled. So back in the chapter, through the action of recognizing the spirit's torment and turning around, Dragona opens herself up to an attack, and in the following pages, something is flung and cuts the baby elephant's ear. I'm not sure exactly what it was, maybe a part of the fence, or Dragona Dragona trying to deflect the attack because, as we've seen before, smooth operators can move cuts around, but whatever it is, it really pisses off the elephants who run through the broken fence and trample our gain. Animal fact for elephants: have you ever heard the saying, elephants never forget? This is mostly true because their temporal lobe, which is the part of the brain associated with memories, is massive and full of dense wrinkles. Elephants can recall the specific locations of water holes for decades, and remember their relationships with humans after large separations, being able to instantly recognize faces as either friendly or dangerous based on their past experiences. So let's hope we don't run into these guys later down the road. And for a good chunk of this chapter, Araki just has some fun depicting these animals, the way they move, their size, and swinging their trunks around as they beat the shit out of our crew. But during this scene, we finally see Jodio attacked by the evil spirits as he tries to remove Dragona's sticker, but is confronted with the verbal torment based on the internal rage he feels towards others and the world's systems. This throws us into a flashback with Jodio confronting Dragona's ex-boyfriend at his home because he wants to get Dragona's pendant back, but the boyfriend pulls a gun on him, and despite Jodio taking it relatively easy, only disarming him with November Rain and simply just trying to get the pendant, he's still shot in the back on his way out with his back turned to the man. This ex-boyfriend is found not guilty in a court of law, and the shooting was ruled as legitimate self-defense. So this is just another example of Jodio being punished by society and its systems for trying to do what he feels is right. Just something nice for Dragona, but is constantly working against the corruption of societal mechanisms. The absurdities of life that cause pain but make no logical sense. The bullet luckily only grazed Jodio's vitals, but we see that it went right through his Joestar birthmark, leaving a scar directly underneath it, which is a whole can full of symbolism. It's a sense of justice prevailing in spite of a cruel and unjust world. It could be seen as a reflection of Jodio's atypical portrayal of morality. He's a petty criminal who sells drugs, somewhat a black sheep of the family, maybe even a scar on the Joestar legacy from an outside perspective. And the combination of scars and a birthmark calls back to Jodio's namesake, Dio, whose iconic design from Part 3 had the scar around his neck and the star, which highlighted how JoJo and Dio became one. So it's extremely fitting for Jodio to have a similar design element, and overall, just looks really badass and fits Jodio well, as he is probably the most rugged Joestar so far, drenched in crime and poverty for most of his story. And coming back to the action of the chapter, we eventually subdue the elephant's rampage with the Mate Kudasai transforming into the wire rope, and we were able to take a beat and reflect on how this ability works, with Jodio doing most of the explanation, so you know he's going to be spitting facts. He accepts that this ability is able to find the feelings hidden in the hearts of people, but still believes that this enemy has been spying on them from the start, and beyond Usagi's family, their true goal has always been to figure out the location of a lava rock, and Jodio won't even say it out loud, as he suspects he's being watched even right now. And the plot continues to set up this race for the lava rock, which could be the focus of the next arc, because Jodio recalls Rohan's secret message, and says that the enemy almost certainly was listening to them back then and might have already found out the meaning of the secret code. Meanwhile, Jodio still has no idea what Rohan could have meant. The chapter then comes to an end with the gang following Jodio's lead and running to the lion enclosure, as he's cooked up a plan to remove the stickers without touching them, as that is the stand's trigger to appear, when you or someone else tries to peel them off. So instead, Jodio asks Usagi for lithium-ion batteries and jumps into the literal lion's den. And there we have it, people. After a decade of reviewing JoJo, we finally have the JoJo Lions. And I love how whenever Araki tries to make an animal the focus of an arc, they always end up looking strangely human. So I guess Jodio's plan is to put the batteries inside his shoe or in the lions' mouths and have them bite down on the batteries and cause a fire that will burn off or destroy the stickers, because from what we've seen, they cannot be removed by any humans. And for our final animal fact of the review, Paco's got us covered. Did you know that lions weigh on average 200 kilos? That's around 440 pounds, and they can jump 20 meters in just one leap. Truly the kings and queens of the jungle. So in the next chapter, expect a JoJo Lion JoJoLands crossover. So thank you all so much for watching another JoJoLands chapter review. Please drop a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're not already, and let me know all of your thoughts on the current state of Part 9 in the comments. Again, thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you all real soon in my next video. Peace.